Alrighty, awesome. Bobby, you ready to go?
Yes, I am ready.
Alrighty. So, hello everyone. Super excited to have you on today. We've been through a host of resources and training, and so we wanted to just give you top off the end of the day with this great topic. But before we go into that, I wanted to first introduce myself. I am Ambrosia Williams. If you missed my introduction earlier, I'm a Modern Work Customer Success Manager, much like my colleagues here. I am based in Houston, Texas, covering cities and counties in Texas, cities and counties in California, as well as the state of Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Mississippi State. So, Bobby?
Hi guys, my name is Bobby McIntosh. I am a customer success manager covering Los Angeles, Kern County, the city of Los Angeles, not the county, but the city of Los Angeles, Kern County down to San Diego. And like my colleagues, I'm here to support you in all your teams and 365 needs.
Awesome. So one of the things that we think is really powerful that not a lot of people really think about, right, is just how to share your screen. And how do you share within Microsoft Teams? So we wanted to expand on that a little bit. I think it deserved its own session because we really want to dive deep into what's the proper way to share your screen. And then also to that point, we wanted to talk a little bit about surveying and how to put those polls in your Microsoft Teams meetings. So sit back, relax, ask as many questions as you need. And if there's anything that comes that we should definitely expand upon, please feel free to come off mute, team, and just say, hey, can you talk a little bit more about that? Ready to go?
Let's do it.
All righty, awesome. So first we're going to go into just sharing your screen. It could seem like a very simple task to some. However, it is very key to really share your screen properly. So when you're in your Teams meetings or your Teams live event sessions, it's very key, and this arrow is a little bit farther to the left, but it's very key to find your eyes on this arrow pointing upward, okay? So hopefully you all are in that new meeting experience and you see that your toolbar is at the top here. Find this arrow pointing upwards. Once you click that, and we're going to look at number 1 over here, when you click that, it's going to give you a pop-out menu, okay? So first and foremost, make sure you click that, and then at the bottom, you should see this pop out. It's very key to know the differences between desktop and window because they give you 2 different views. So with your desktop, if you want to have full flexibility, you're going to be flipping back and forth between different screens. You're going to be sharing multiple things. Maybe you want to be able to see your meeting as well as your presentation. Definitely choose your desktop. I would always suggest choose your desktop. Make sure you have some sensitive windows closed, however, but I would always say choose desktop. But as my colleague Darby mentioned earlier today, maybe you have a few things that you only want to show that's targeted. You want to be able to do some things in the background. You don't necessarily want everyone to see what you're sharing. Go ahead and select anything that's under the window. And remember, those are going to be your suggested items, right? Or maybe something that you have open. So as you see, I have a host of things open right now. And so these are the suggestions that my computer is saying, hey, do you want to share this possibly? And so when I do click either the window or the desktop, it'll be, well, click window, it'll be only that information that they'll see. So no matter what else I'm doing as far as multitasking, it'll be only that item. And then of course, most importantly, right, when we're sharing those videos, it is 100% key to include your computer sound. For some of you, it may still say include system audio, but either way, make sure we select that. You know, you may be sharing those videos, but if it may look really pretty, but we just can't hear it if you don't include that system's audio, okay? So make sure you select that. And then here in the deck, and this is what we shared at the end, there's a couple of things in here, a couple of reminders and tips. So anything that we've covered as far as sharing files or sharing your window or desktop, that's going to be here, and you'll have access to this as well. So I'm going to step out of this here, and I'm going to go into my demo tenant. And as you see here, I'm doing what I just showed you, right? I'm sharing my desktop. so that I can have full flexibility to transition over. So that's very, very key. So right now I'm in my demo tenant, and there are roughly about 3 ways that you can share files within Microsoft Teams. So when you are in your chat here, you have the ability to share files within a group chat or also a one-on-one chat. So here I have a chat open with Nestor, and I want to go ahead and share some files with him so we can collaborate, right? So what I'll do is I'll come here at the bottom of my screen. I'm going to click the paperclip. And then as you see, I have a couple of options here. So I can upload from my computer. So whether you're on an H drive, K drive, whatever drive that you're on, or hopefully you all are loving and using OneDrive, you have the ability to pull from those 2 ways to get your documents within to Microsoft Teams. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click upload from my computer. And I have a document here that says Teams Gov EDU Day. So I'm just going to open that up. And as you see at the bottom, this green bar that's going across, that's actually a huge benefit to Microsoft Teams. That's actually uploading those documents to OneDrive. So anytime that you're working, maybe on your mobile device, just like Asite beautifully explained, or maybe you are sitting at your desktop, right? Or maybe you're sitting next to your kids and you don't necessarily want to go to your laptop to help collaborate on a file, you will have the full functionality to be able to do this on your mobile device. And you can access those files at any time, anywhere, whether it's in Teams or in OneDrive. So huge benefit there. And so now I have the ability to type a message to Nestor to say, hey, can you add your content here? And so now he's going to get a chat. And he'll be able to go into this document, collaborate, whether I'm in it still or not, and we'll both be able to make changes at the same time as we're going through and getting prepared for this EDU day. One of the large benefits of Microsoft Teams is that you don't have to go all over the place to search for those files, right? Everything that you share in those one-on-one chats or those group chats will be in this folder here called Files. And so now, as you see, I can access this file and at any time, right? I see when it was shared. I'm able to get the link to it if I need to get it and send it to someone else. Or if I don't really want to use the Teams interface to work on this document, I have full ability to just open it up in the desktop app. So huge, huge benefit there. The second way to bring in files is if we go into Teams, right? So right now I have a couple of teams here, as you see. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my finance team. And so maybe I need to share some information with my colleagues, as you see here with the standard plans, right? And so as you see in this message, I have a file that has been shared, and I have a couple of comments here about that file. But maybe I want to share a new one. Maybe there's some updates that I need to give. So when you come down here to new conversation, you'll click that. And again, you find that little paperclip there. And so once you click that paperclip, you still have a couple of options where you have OneDrive and uploading from your computer. Or maybe you've shared some documents within other teams and channels. You have the ability to bring that in as well. I'm going to select recent because I just shared a couple of files, so I want to make sure that I actually get that. When you select recent, you now see all of the documents that you've recently shared and when they were modified, right? And so with this, I'm going to select audit because I want my business taxes and licenses team to look at this audit. So I'm going to upload this. And again, it's uploading to OneDrive for me. And so I'm going to write a message. I'm going to mention my team because I want everyone to have visibility to this information. We need to review this document. Please add your edits. And so now I have this document here. If I wanted to add some formatting to this message, maybe make it look a little bit better, I can make it important since I really need people to add their updates. I can make it an announcement, make it look a little bit better, right? Maybe a very formal way to share. and then I can just go ahead and share it, right? So now everyone has access to this document. And so it really does give you a seamless way to collaborate. Think about before where you maybe are sharing things via email and you get several different documents back. Maybe you shared it at 8 this morning and now you have about 5 different versions that have been created because there's several different folks replying to email at different times. It keeps things very, very nice and neat when you share them in Microsoft Teams, and you can also collaborate on them while in the interface as well. So it keeps things very, very seamless. And so again, if we go back and as you see, we have that document here. I'm going to go back to my Teams. And again, just like with chat, we like to keep things very consistent here. You go ahead and you go to Files, and I have that document again, that audit document. I see it was added about a minute ago, and so I know exactly what document I need to be working in. Finally, the last place we're going to go is in the Files tab. This is over here on the left. As you see, I have all the visibility, into all of the documents that I've shared throughout the time that I've used this client. I have a date on when they were modified, and I also see in here OneDrive. And so now I have the ability to see my exact OneDrive folder and all of the files that I've added here and saved here. So even if it's something that I haven't really shared with anyone else, as you can see, these are all my private files, I still have access to them. Some folks may be using their File Explorer to access those files. You don't have to do that anymore. It's all sitting here right in Microsoft Teams. So you can really spend all of your day here and not really have to go anywhere else. So that's one of the most powerful features that I love about this tool. So unless there's any questions at all, I'm going to hand it over to Bobby.
Thank you, Ambrosia. Great presentation. I'm going to share my screen. Is there any questions for Ambrosia before I start my presentation?
Yes, there was one question about what is better to share when presenting a PowerPoint presentation? Is it window or document only, specifically for PowerPoint?
Love that question. So it's really up to you, right? If you know you're going to be very, very flexible, you're going to stay in a PowerPoint the entire time, you don't want flexibility, you're not going to be multitasking, I would say go ahead with window, right? If you are going to be flipping back and forth between, a document, maybe doing some demonstrations like we're doing today, I would say use your desktop. It just gives you so much more flexibility. Because as you saw, right, I had to switch between a web browser to a PowerPoint, and I have that full range of flexibility. And so that's what I would suggest when giving a PowerPoint presentation. I would also add that if you are sharing your screen and maybe you are a producer of a live event, which is what we're doing today, you also, if you have multiple monitors, I would say put your content on one screen and put your live event feed on another screen. So that gives you that full range to see exactly what's going on. You're still able to fulfill your role as well as control the content. Just a quick tip there.
I would also add a tip of if you have a really, really wide monitor, like a double wide monitor or something like that, be careful about sharing your desktop because it's going to look like a postage stamp to most people. So sharing a window might be the better way of going in that case.
Agreed, Glenn. I've experienced that. Thank you for sharing. Great tip, Ambrosia, on ensuring your audio is clicked when you're sharing a clip or a video in your presentation. That's a really key component there to share. So with that, I think I'm live, right? Can you guys see my desktop?
Yes, you're good.
Perfect, thank you. I don't have a presentation. I'm going to right into my demo environment and share some of the things I'm going to talk about. Chat in meeting as well as hosting and polling inside your meeting. I know you've already seen from the presentations earlier today that chat is a large part of our Teams platform. However, I feel personally that a lot of people don't utilize all the chat functionality within a meeting. Therefore, I'm going to show you some of those features now. Right now, if you guys can see my screen, I'm actually going to, and actually, let me just go back 1 second. I'm actually in a channel meeting. Some of you may have seen this today from other presenters. I am going to go here and do a meet now with this particular channel. I can also do this, what I'm demonstrating today, inside a regular meeting as well. I just chose to do it inside the channel. So I'm going to join this meeting. Connecting. It's going to join 1 second here. I'm going to disregard the audio. As you can see, some of these folks are part of my guest tenant. They are not live actual people. So within my Teams meeting, as you already know, you can click on the chat and start a conversation. Typically, what I've seen most people do is just use the Teams function here, or the chat function here, and correspond back and forth that way. But there's so much more to the Teams chat capability to bring life to your presentations. With that, for example, showing the compose option here, and even within the compose option, there's more to that as well. If you click on the three ellipses or the three dots here, it'll show you all the functionality you have within the compose option function. I believe Ambrosia was trying to show a little bit of that when she shared a document and she sort of made an announcement in there. You can have that same capabilities in a chat channel or in a chat meeting. So with that, I'm going to show, for example, you have this font here, paragraph changes, decreased indents, and so forth. But what I really want to show you here is the insert a table. When I select insert a table, you'll notice that I have the option of making and sort of an Excel table. But this is an Excel table, but within the chat. Here, you got to be careful because if I select one of these, it's going to give me one cell. So I want to hover over the amount of cells I want to create. For this example, I'm going to create 6 cells, and I'll select those guys. And as you can see, they show up in my chat. However, just to know, like in most chats, my team can't see those. So here I can go inside this particular Excel file and give, like, for example, I can type in project name, and then I can also type in members, and every project needs to have a timeline. So here I can share with my particular team members in this particular meeting what I want to share in terms of where my status is on my project. And I always hit select the up arrow here or the enter arrow here. And now my team members can see that particular inserted timeline chat chart I just submitted here about my project. And if I want to, I can go back here, click on the ellipse and edit this. And once I've edited, I can go here and make changes on here. I'll just put my name in there, or actually not project name, but we'll put my name in as a member. And I can upload it back to my team. So this way I can give my team members timely status of where my project sits, what I'm working on, or if I'm taking notes on a particular topic we're discussing, particular project, I can outline those notes in that particular table and share that with the team. There's so much more to just the compose option here. As I talked about, you can bold, italicize, underline, line out, highlight, and like I talked about, you have all the components here and the additional options here under the 3 dots. What I also like about the chat component here is the exclamation point, obviously stating that this is important. If I say team, please send me your updates. We don't put that in caps because I'm not trying to emphasize that isn't that important, but, and then I can just hit enter. And as you notice, it gives the important component here. And as I want to reiterate, all the stuff that's in your one-on-one chats can also be done inside a Teams meeting chat. I can attach files here. I wouldn't do that, but Ambrosia sort of did showed you guys earlier those capabilities. Those same capabilities can be found in the chat windows here. What I do see often, and I don't know if your agency permits, you have all these options for adding little stickers and smiley faces to people's comments and feedback to let them know you appreciate what they're doing. That's always helpful in any meeting. And gifts as well. I won't pick on any of these, but you have those options available. But again, these may be features that may not show up in your tenant, something that's configured by your team's admin or your governance committee. In addition to that, we have the oh yeah, which is always my favorite one. I'm always appreciative of an oh yeah in any presentation I do or any meeting I'm in. You also have the option of other emojis and GIFs and stickers here as well. But what I like to go into is to talk about if you want to do a poll in your meeting. Any questions on team? Are there any questions on just chatting in meetings? Because I know we've touched on this earlier, but I just want to see if there's any particular questions around this particular component of it, doing it in the meeting.
So there's a question: can others edit your table in a chat, or only the creator of the team? And Nash just answered it, but you can answer it again.
Excellent question. Yes, they can. I hope that corresponds with Nash's response as well. So those individuals can come into the link here and simply click the ellipse and hit edit. Does that answer the question? Are we good?
Yep, thank you.
Perfect. Thank
Also,
you.
I'll add that other folks, though, when you do post something in a chat, they cannot edit your own information. They can copy it and paste it and then edit it, but they cannot go in and just change whatever you have submitted in the meeting chat.
Yeah, your comments are your comments. They can, like, for example, Teams, nobody else can come in here and change my comments. I don't even think they have the option to delete. But
And some
But-
agencies and organizations disable the ability to edit and delete chats. So I would keep that in mind as well. To Asaita's point earlier, if you don't have that, that may be why.
yeah, that's strictly, as I spoke about earlier, around the governance that you guys have with Teams. So you may want to speak to your administrative staff or Teams administrator on those functionalities if they're not available in your tenant. So with that, I am actually going to, I'm going to close this meeting out. I'm going to leave this meeting and I'm going to go do a poll within my channel. So as you can see that all the information I share with that channel is also located here in the Teams chat. So what I've done here, I've already loaded Poly. Well, for example, I'm going to show you how I did that. I went up to the plus arrow here or the plus sign here. And within that, you'll see some of the apps that are available for you within Teams. Now, keep in mind, again, going back to your systems admin, some of these features or first-party apps should be there, but some of these features may not be there, and that's all in accordance with your Teams policy that your admins have set up, your governance team has set up. So with this, I went in and selected Poly, and I've already done this, so I'm not gonna. It already knows that I've already registered. So I'm just gonna hit save here. And it gave me Poly too. It gave me Poly twice since I've already done this. But here's my Poly in my chat. So I'm gonna go here and create a new poll. And the poll, this particular polling tool gives you so many options on single or multiple selections here. And this one I'm doing inside my Teams demo channel. I can also change this channel to another into the general or another meeting within Teams. And I'm going to go right to my questions here. And what I'm going to do is, for the sake of this meeting, I'm going to assume that the previous meeting I was in, we are actually working through lunch. So here, I'm going to ask the team, if I can spell it. I'm going to ask the team, what are their lunch choices? And, you know, I can always say pizza because I always love pizza any time of day. I'm going to throw one more in here, or two more in here. One is tacos, and the last one, add a choice here. I'm just going to randomly say sandwiches. Now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and preview this. It's already showing me what my choices are, lunch choices for today. I'm going to hit send. It tells you here a little message saying my Poly where my meeting was created. So I'm going to go into the post here, and you'll see where I've added this choice for members to vote on. I'm going to select, just for example, pizza, because that's what I talked about. Let's fit my vote. And there's my vote. Now, the great thing about adding polls is I can go back to my team's meeting and my team has already voted. And dismissal. Join this meeting here. All right, so we're back into my meeting. If I go into my chat, I'm not seeing my polling experience. I don't know why it's not showing, but typically you won't see the actual results, but see that I've created a poll inside that particular meeting. Let's make sure I was in the right channel. There I was, and I don't see it showing here. Let me go back into, maybe it's taking a second to populate. Go in chat and go back into it. In any case, it's not showing right now. That's always the case when you do a live demo. But what's coming to GCC is you're going to be able to add those polls directly from the meeting itself. So typically, what you saw here was the behavior you're seeing now. The current behavior is that you can poll and go back to the meeting chat, and you'll see the activity of the meeting, of the poll votes. Going forward, we allow extensibility in the teams. You'll be able to hit this plus sign, and this activity you see up here, where you see Polly here in the actual meeting, you'll be able to see those results and do this polling within your meeting inside the team meeting itself. So you'll be able to go here in the team meeting and conduct that poll, and you'll see Polly up in the top left corner here, or you'll be able to select from a third-party app here to enter that polling experience inside your actual live meeting. I'll go back to the meeting, and that really kind of demonstrates how polling can be done in your meeting if you're having simultaneous discussions with your folks in the meeting. If you want to host a poll meeting, like I said, within the meeting, you can do that by going here and adding Polly. Hopefully, you can also add forms. I think I'm almost certain that one of my colleagues touched on that point earlier today, where you can take a forms link and post that inside the Teams meeting and have folks a survey or conduct a survey within the meeting. It's still going to take them outside the meeting for now, and they'll be able to see, and you'll be able to share those results separately. But going forward, as I stated, forms and all those components like Polly will be native to the Teams client, and we expect that. I don't have a timeline. I don't want to pre-commit, but that's coming soon to GCC. And I know a lot of customers are looking forward to that sensibility in Teams, where you can add third-party apps here in the upper left corner. With that, are there any questions on adding polls in the meeting?
Is there a way to zoom or zoom out a presentation? I think that is a little bit outside of the scope of your session, and we'll get back to you on that question. But I just wanted to really highlight that, forms is definitely usable today. Once you actually create a form and you get the URL the same way that I did in the announcement earlier, what I normally do if I'm doing like real-time polling using forms is I literally just share the forms response screen, and as people are actually filling out the information, others in the meeting can actually see the responses. So I just wanted to emphasize on Bobby's last point that you can go to office.com or you can go to forms.office.com and create a quick form. You can just click share, pick up the URL, and you can just paste it in a meeting chat and actually share your screen. Because you are the forms creator, you'll have access to the response tab. So you could just open that, share your screen, allow people how forms can really be used in real-time polling. Of course, when we actually have the native integration with the Forms app and with the polling app, that would be obviously better. But I just wanted to highlight that it does work great, and I use it all the time as it stands today.
Thank you, Ambrosia. I'm sorry, not Ambrosia, but Asaita. Appreciate that. But I do want to really emphasize that, if you really want to bring life to your presentations, really take advantage of all the functionality that is within Teams, especially around the chat functionality here, and more to come on that as Ambrosia or as Asaita just spoke about. And Ambrosia shared earlier around sharing your presentations within with attending team meeting and uploading files. So there's so much inside the chat capabilities that I think a lot of agencies or a lot of folks that are hosting meetings don't take advantage of. So I want to make sure you see this and see the value of this and understand how you can really capitalize and really create an exciting meeting. With that, I'm going to hand it back over to Ambrosia. We have some closing thoughts here, really around our surveys. Ambrosia, is that correct?
Yes, we do. And to Asaite's point, which I love, we're going to actually fill out a form. I need you all to feast your eyes on this here. Let me share my screen really quickly. Alrighty, so you all should see on your screen right now a QR code, and I have some instructions here for you as well, just in case you haven't done this before. But if you don't have it out already, take out your phones, turn on your camera, put it on, just hover it over the screen, over that QR code that's to the right here. Or if you need to, you can type in this link here and fill out the form that we have. Tell us how you enjoyed these sessions that you just went through all day today. We would love to hear some feedback from you. And actually, one of the benefits of filling out this form is that we do have the link to the deck that was used in this particular session. So if you want those tips and tricks about how to share your screen or some of the things that Bobby covered in regards to putting in polls, definitely go ahead and get that, that PowerPoint, right? So again, take out your smartphone, go ahead and turn that camera on and hover over this, click on that option that pops up and go ahead and fill out that form. So now what we're going to do is actually switch over. And before I go to that, I do want to send a reminder that please feel free to join us tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have a host of different options and sessions that are going to be put on by my colleagues. So please go ahead and look at that.
Ambrosia, really quickly, just to follow on to that, I just posted the link for tomorrow's session. In case you don't have the calendar invite, I posted it to the chat here. So feel free to share it with your coworkers, others who you may think will benefit from these sessions. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And do we need to really, Ambrosia, I know that some of those folks may have gotten the QR code. Should we reshare? Yeah, I was wondering if we should reshare that.
There we go. And I have the link here as well. But yeah, we would love to hear your feedback. So please feel free to take this this survey for us. But if there's no other questions, Asaite, I can definitely hand it back over to you if you need me to.